So, welcome everyone who are with us. Just bear with me 60 seconds and we'll start the event. I'm seeing both our speakers and other people joining us. So, let's just wait another 30 seconds. And before that, I'm Hrant, the co-founder and chief operating officer here at Email Marketing Room. First of all, thank you for taking time from your day to join us and to discuss and to learn about the topics that we chose for today. Let's just wait another 30, 60 seconds for everyone to join us, and then we'll start our event. So we are also recording the event, and we are going to make sure that we will send the recorded version to everyone. And also we have a Q&A session, and you can put your questions there, and we will answer those at the end of the speeches, obviously. Yeah, I think we can kick off. So as I said, I'm Hrant, the co-founder and chief operating officer here at the Email Marketing Room. And again, thank you all of you for joining us. And let me introduce our speakers. Egan, VP of Performance Marketing at Beyond and also fractional CMO. Also, Pietro Pelizzari, Managing Director and co-founder at ORBIS Lifestyle. And will join us also Achille Siciliano, Chief Marketing Officer at Sense. And also here with me, Sona, an email marketing specialist at the Email Marketing Room. She will introduce the topics that we are going to cover today, and also she'll moderate the discussion. So, Sona, go ahead. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Hrant. Hello, everyone. As Hrant mentioned, I'm Sona, and I'm an email marketing specialist at Email Marketing Room. I'm very delighted to be part of this discussion. So we have a fantastic lineup of 3 speakers, each bringing their unique perspectives. They will each present their insights for about 10 to 15 minutes, and following their presentations, we'll have a dedicated time for Q&A session. So if you have any questions during the presentations, feel free to submit them through the Q&A. So the key topics that we will be exploring today are how do CEOs and CMOs ensure that the overall marketing strategy aligns with business objectives? How does the CMO translate that strategy into specific channel plans, ensuring marketing efforts directly support the CEO's priorities? What KPIs truly matter to CEOs? How can CMOs effectively leverage marketing channels to directly demonstrate their contribution to these crucial metrics? And finally, how does email marketing specifically help CMOs demonstrate their impact on these bottom line metrics and CEOs better understand the significant impact marketing has on these metrics? So without further ado, let's start with our first speaker, Egan. Rick, please introduce yourself, and the floor is yours.
Thanks for that, Sona. I'm Rick Egan. I'm going to talk about my experience with at Beyond Inc. and kind of how we would go about working with kind of the CEO and the overall business to plan out our calendar and put together the overall plan, because I think it was it really was a top-down approach that I think would be very useful for everybody. So I'll kind of start there and then I think feel free to start to put questions in the chat and so forth. But how we would kind of go about putting together our plan and really kind of we would work with the we took really a bottoms and a top down kind of approach to how we would do it. So we would start with kind of because I think what you always have to do is you have to look at, there always has to be a growth plan of how are you growing, but you have to have your growth plan also grounded in what are your historical numbers look like, and then your growth plan is basically challenging your historical numbers. So so we would look at our kind of 2-year history of where we had been, what we were doing, and we would look at it, and we would actually look at it down to a channel level, and then build out an initial plan based on that. And then we would look at kind of where we thought we could grow, present an initial plan to our CEO, and then basically collect feedback based on that. And then that would be kind of the starting point of the conversation with the CEO, of where then he could basically begin to say, here's my goals, here's what I want to achieve. And then from there, then we could start to look at the plan and say, because the first plan is really what you could achieve. The second plan is based on the goals that he would like to see. Then you can start to bake in what additional things that you can do to be able to achieve what they want, either because there's new things that they're bringing to market, because there's new products, there's stretch goals, there's whatever it may be that's coming to market. So then you're formulating the plan that way. So then those two things come together. That ultimately kind of builds what your plan is going to be for the year. And so that's kind of how that all comes together at kind of a high level. And marketing really comes together to support the business objectives based on the CEO providing that guidance of what they want to do. Do they want to start another website? Do they want to do a new product line? Do they want to do a new category? Do they want to, if the expected growth plan would be 10% and they really want to grow 20 or 30% this year, then what's it going to take to grow 20 or 30%? So those would be the kinds of discussions that we would have. And then marketing would come forward with, based on those discussions, what is it going to be? If it's a new category, then it's going to be more of a brand plan that we're going to bring to the table to deliver more of a brand, more awareness to something new. If it's just pure growth, we want to, we're expected to grow 10, we want to grow 20 or 30%, then it's really going to be more of a performance marketing plan. How are we going to actively, or how are we going to increase the budget effectively to achieve that 20 to 30% increase in growth? So that's kind of how we would approach that. And then how we would translate that back down to the channel plans, because we had a long history of data. We would take that, and then we would break that down into each individual marketing channel, and then each individual marketing channel gets an individual goal straight down from budget, traffic, conversion rate, very, very detailed of what their goals are and what they have to hit. And then that's given back to the channel managers, which then those translate into their goals, and then we manage that through OKRs. So then they can then take their OKRs and then basically say, here's the things that I'm going to do. Here's the things that I need to do within my channel to be able to achieve those goals, or achieve the targets that they have been given. So that's kind of how we work through all those things. And then I think the KPIs are always kind of the interesting one, because the KPIs, when we're talking to the CEO, the KPIs that probably ultimately matter to the CEO are always just, what are the top lines? It's what are the top line sales, and did you hit the bottom line margin numbers? So I don't know that a lot of the other numbers that are interesting to us as marketers are always interesting to CEOs. CEOs really, they have to hit their performance numbers, which are usually top line and EBITDA. So those are always the big ones for them. I think for us as marketers, the things that probably the thing that we can be much more mindful of would be gross margin and contribution margin, because then gross margin or gross profit kind of give us a good starting point of how profitable a product actually is. So when we're selling things, our default a lot of times can be, if we want to sell more, then it can be let's put more discount into something to sell more items, but then that's gonna reduce the overall gross margin of a product, which then is going to deliver less contribution margin to the bottom line, which is ultimately going to not help us achieve one of the CEO's goals. So I think with the CEO always being responsible for kind of EBITDA at the end of the day, I think, we as marketers can always be, should probably be a lot more thoughtful of how are we delivering on gross profit, which is going to mean we need to always be thoughtful around trying to discount less, so that we can deliver more contribution margin at the end of the day, because that will deliver more EBITDA for the CEO at the end of the day. So if we can deliver top line and EBITDA, then we're going to deliver more profitable growth, which is going to make the CEO's job easier. So, and then I think from the email standpoint, email really, I think from how I always think about email is really the closer in the marketing funnel. So email, all marketing channels really work together in harmony. So every other marketing channel delivers traffic and awareness and gets more people into the buying cycle. And then email is there really to continue to kind of pull people along towards the purchase, towards the eventual purchase, and help close them to make that. So it's a very vital piece to that. And when email is not firing correctly, it makes everything very inefficient. And when it's firing correctly, and really doing its job, it makes everything that much better. Oh, I think you're muted, Sana.
Yeah, so
I'm sorry. Thank you, Rick, for your valuable insight. And now our next speaker, Pietro. We are particularly excited to hear from you because you are the only one who is presenting not from marketing perspective. So welcome and thank you for being here.
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Sona, for the introduction. So yeah, as you said, I'm Pietro. I'm one of the co-founders and general manager or managing director of ORBIS Lifestyle. We are a direct-to-consumer supplement brand. We are based in Switzerland, but our main market is let's say Europe, so Italy, Spain, and Switzerland. The cool thing about us is that we've grown from basically scratch to 7 figures in revenue in under like 1 year almost. And today I wanted to share with you how we have aligned our marketing strategies with let's say my expectation as a CEO and also as a business owner. So I really liked what Rick said about the different plans that are necessary to see what is going to, let's say, what's likely to occur and what the CEO wants to happen, so that we can close that gap with the marketing plan. And that's really, really what also we at Orbis are trying to do. Um, as a founder, especially, it's very difficult to making sure that your marketing team doesn't just, run ads, but runs them in a way that matches our business goals. And for me, it was especially difficult at the beginning because we are bootstrapped and we started from scratch. And I'm not the guy actively running any ads or any forms of marketing. But so that implies that I needed to find a way to effectively communicate to our agencies and freelancers our goals in terms of finance, but also in terms of new customers acquisition, in terms of products that we wanted to merchandise in the ad account. So for us, for example, the first thing that comes to my mind right now is that um, there has to be clarity on the CEO North Star, which has to be a financial goal. So, for example, at Orbis, especially last year when we first launched in the D2C space, it was really difficult, I would say, to set a specific goal in terms of financial number to it. But a very important thing that I came to realize was, especially in the early stages, it was important to understand two metrics that are for us the cost of acquisition and the retention rate. So, for example, we were looking closely to the CAC and how the CAC moves throughout the months, um, while also taking into consideration the lifetime value in 30, 60, 90 days. That for us was really, really important. So with that in mind, I started every quarter with a very clear statement on basically one or two non-negotiable KPIs instead of having, a full financial plan because as a startup, it's very difficult to forecast what's the next month will look like. But having, a pulse on the main metrics, like as I said, CAC or LTV, for us was really, really important. So that's the first thing that I will say. The second thing that I would tell you is for us, we try to let's say work on the creative side of the business without micromanaging stuff. Because, for example, at the very early beginning, we tried to being behind every single ad that was created by the different freelancers or the agency, but that didn't scale, especially when we hit 100K per month. So now I try to define what great could look like. For example, the positioning of the product, this psychology of what we are telling the customers, and above all, also which kind of products we should advertise. So in other terms, this is like the merchandising of the ad account, and I try to let my team and the creators do their job. So also with our influencers, we don't provide a specific script, but we let them create the videos that they prefer based on the strategy that we want to go for the different months. In terms of other metrics or accountability, for us, every Monday we review how many new customers are we acquiring, which rate of customer acquisition are we working towards, which are the best channels for us, which are the best and most profitable offers. This is very important for us because um, we are trying to make people subscribe to our products, not only buy once. So it's very important to see where we can acquire customers at least a break even. So we don't have a specific number of new customers that we expect next month because we only have 1 year of history. So this is one of the difference to what you said, Rick, is that we don't have much data because we are new in the industry. So we are trying to understand how far can we push with one channel or one market while accomplishing our goal to be first order profitable or worst comes to worst break even. So this is, I would say, the general marketing approach that we are currently having, and this has been extremely important in the last few months because when we launched, we used to be a celebrity-backed brand, so CAC was nearly zero, and we had to pay a lot of money to the different celebrities we were working with. Right now, our business model has changed, and we are working towards a more performance marketing based business model. And right now, it's crucial for us that not only I have clear goals for the year and the months, but also I am able to communicate effectively those goals to the agencies that we work with, to the freelancers that we work with. So, yeah, that I would say is the marketing approach that we are taking. And when it comes to um, email marketing has been a huge channel for us because especially in Q4 last year when things started not to go so well because health is probably not the first top priority when you think about the holiday season or the gifting season. So when we started seeing that we couldn't rely so much on new customer acquisition during the holidays, we really understood the power of email marketing. And that's when I really found interesting the way that email marketing works because we are able, based on the data that we have, to, let's say, forecast a number when it comes to revenue per recipient, for example, revenue per campaigns. And that's very helpful because it helps us get to the uh, contribution margin that we are aiming to every single month. So, for example, if we see that we are underpacing for any different reason at any times during the month, we try to send more campaigns, and has been life changing for us. And so email marketing is extremely important for us, and we are going to always put a lot of effort and attention to the email and to the retention side of the business, especially now where we just launched the subscription model and we are trying to really understand how to improve the LTV in the next 6, 12, 18 months.
Okay, thank you, Pietro. Thank you for your
Thank you.
excellent insights and important viewpoint. And now, unfortunately, at the moment, I see that Achille is trying to join us. Yeah, he's here. Hi.
It's been difficult.
So
We
our
technical problems.
Yeah. Our final speaker is Achille. Now, please, Achille, introduce yourself and the stage is yours.
Okay, great. Well, it's gonna be difficult since we have like some technical issues, but I mean, luckily we managed to go through it. Today my contribution is gonna be strictly tied to my current experience as a CMO in a fast-growing startup in the non-profit technology sector. Of course, I will try to mix between like the main topics of what we are like the main topics of this event, and of course like what we are like actively doing as a startup in the fintech field. I will share some insights from my experience aligning marketing efforts with business objectives in a startup environment that is mainly B2B. But first thing first, let's start with an explanation and a description of Sense. Sense is an innovative fundraising and donor management platform designed specifically for the nonprofit sector. Again, we help NGOs raise more funds more effectively through an integrated platform. Our flagship product is Tap to Donate that transforms mobile devices into donation terminals using tap on phone technology by MasterCard, allowing nonprofits to accept both one-time and recurring donations via credit, debit card, e-wallets, also like other methods like PayPal, whatever. Let's go with topics like aligning marketing strategy with business goals. The CEO CMO relationship is crucial to any company success, of course, in particular for B2B startups in vertical specialized sectors as ours. The most effective partnerships when it comes to this relationship begin when there is a shared understanding of core business vision and, of course, objectives. In my experience, successful alignment happens when the executive side, that is the CEO, clearly communicate their priorities, whether that's market penetration, revenue targets, customer retention, thought leadership, and the CMO translate these specific priorities into actionable marketing and communication strategies. In our case, as a B2B startup navigating the nonprofit sector, that it's kind of complex and fragmented, this meant developing marketing approaches that address specific pain points while demonstrating at the same time clear pathways to value for our potential customers. And the best marketing strategies aren't created in isolation, but are like a direct extension of business goals, with every campaign and initiative designed to move key business metrics. With this, it comes the second topic we are talking about today, that is translating strategy into a channel specific plans. That means that once business objectives are clear, the CMO's responsibility is to develop channel strategies that directly support these goals. And this requires a proper understanding of the potential customer journey, from awareness to consideration to decision to conversion, and mapping appropriate channels to each stage. For example, when targeting non-profit decision makers or potential decision makers, that's not always direct. I found success when we prioritize specific content related. When we prioritize educational content addressing sector-specific challenges and pain points, case studies, for example, that were demonstrating impact for similar organizations, return of investment focused messaging. That means the type of messaging that speaks to resource constraints that are kind of key in the nonprofit sector. And each channel then in the channel mix requires specific KPIs to connect to business objectives. For example, like webinars, like this one, shouldn't be just measured by attendance, but should be qualified by the number of qualified leads that, for example, that type of activity generates. And this means that content marketing and in general, like marketing implementation isn't just about like vanity metrics such as impressions and views, but about prospect progression over conversion. Well, now let's go to KPIs that matter to CEOs. Well, through my conversations with Ricardo, our CEO, I've learned that usually, especially in startups, a CEO care most about metrics that directly impact business health. That is customer acquisition cost, that is the efficiency of your marketing activities, customer lifetime value, time to value. That means how quickly your customers see results from the implementation of your service or product. Then net revenue retention, pipeline velocity. Well, in my case, our credibility, the trust we build with our customers, the way our customer perceived us, perceived us, depends on shifting focus from like the vanity metric again to business critical indicators, and this means developing attribution models that connect marketing activities to revenue outcomes or potential revenue outcomes. It also depends a lot on the state, the state of the startup. I mean, of course, like for a pre-seed startup, goals are going to be different from a Series E startup. However, once the KPIs are defined, what is like crucial, of course, for the CMO is to demonstrate marketing's contribution. Well, this is kind of complex, especially when it comes to B2B, since most of the activities still stay, especially in the process where you start scaling organical. Well, to demonstrate marketing's impact, we try to implement measurement frameworks that track the customer journey across like all the channels we implemented. And this allowed us to attribute appropriate value to each specific touch point during all the acquisition process. Even though at the very beginning it was difficult, I found that multi-touch attribution models work particularly well in the B2B environment, especially when the acquisition process, that means the sales cycles, is pretty long. And these models reveal how different channels contribute to pipeline generation, allowing for a more effective budget allocation over time. And all in all, I would say that email marketing deserves a special attention in when it comes to this topic, especially for those. Especially when the CMO wants to demonstrate business impact. That's because there are like some specific elements and factors that make email marketing a very, very valuable element, especially when it comes to B2B. First of all, there's like the possibility of measuring the revenue generation. This means that like emails provides precise metrics that connect to the way revenue is generated by the startup. They are key when it comes to relationship building. Well, it allows the email marketing allows for a personalization, especially when you segment your target audience, and segmentation allows for targeted messaging addressing specific pain points. And well, there's always like the cost effectiveness point, because email marketing typically, at least for us, delivers like lower cost acquisition while maintaining high conversion rates. And then there's like the full funnel capability, because email marketing can easily support, like in a seamless way, every stage of the process from awareness through expansion. In my experience, however, educational mailing, that means that type of email that guide prospect through transformation journeys, consistently generate higher conversion rates, while at the same time positioning the company, and in our case, our company, as a trusted advisor rather than just a vendor. Well, in conclusion, the alignment between CEO priorities and marketing execution isn't just about like a reporting structure. It's about like shared commitment to a specific business outcome. And when marketing strategy drives directly from stems from business objectives, business goals, channel plans support specific revenue goals, and measurement focuses on CEO level metrics, marketing becomes like a very, very strategic growth driver. And by maintaining this alignment and leveraging channels like email that builds relationship while delivering measurable results, well, a CMO can clearly demonstrate its contribution to company success and earn their seat like at the strategy table.
Thank you, Achille. Now, I would like to thank all of our speakers. And as we can see that everything is kind of clear for our attendees, I've actually done some research and prepared some questions for you, and that I would like you also to cover. So let's start with the first one. So according to a recent study from Both House, almost 60% of CEOs think that CMOs don't do a great job in terms of AI integration within a company. So what are your thoughts on this? How can CMOs leverage AI more effectively? Can you hear me?
Yes, I think a few of us were on mute.
Yeah, I think we can start answers like we did with the speeches. So Rick, if you have something to say about the question, you can go ahead and start, and then guys will follow up.
Yeah, I think you know, we can certainly. I think AI within marketing is an area of great opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity within many areas of marketing to utilize it. So I'm a big proponent of it myself. So I think it can streamline a lot of work, create a lot of efficiencies. I think I find that people are still a little wary of it. So that's maybe why CEOs maybe why that survey result is that high. It's more trying to get adoption of the people, or people adopting it is maybe where the latency is. I don't know that it's as much CMOs not wanting to do it as much as them just not wanting to force their teams to do it. They want their teams to more organically adopt it, or adopt it by choice as opposed to adopt it by force.
Thank you, Rick. Now, Pietro, please.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think AI is going to be integrated a lot in different platforms. For example, I think about Meta And I think that sometimes the CMOs maybe they don't need to integrate the AI themselves, but rather let's say change and adapt their approach to the fact that AI is going to be integrated. For example, if we think about media buying, what I'm currently seeing is that we had to we transitioned from an agency that had this whole approach where they used to basically focus more on like targeting the right audience or like trying to find the right interests or demographics while not doing any kind of creative testing, to a new agency that basically their approach is much more reliant on creative testing rather than the demographics and different audience settings, and that is making the difference, because I think right now we are currently leveraging more the AI algorithm of Meta, that it's addressing the targeting through the creative. So I think that sometimes the CMOs just need to trying to understand how AI works and how their job will be different in the next few months because of AI.
Okay, thank you again. And now, Achille, it's your turn, please.
Well, I mean, of course, I agree with both Pietro and Rick when they say that, of course, AI is a great opportunity. I mean, right now, we are like already trying to implement it over like specific marketing activities. I mean, the only like thing I'm scared of, especially when it comes to like a naive approach to AI, especially like of course, like when it comes to marketing, is like generative AI, uh, is the fact that sometimes when you delegate like most of your content production, for example, like content relatives, for example, like you build up a blog, like a blog article, and then you, for example, you give like to AI the role to build up relatives, like I don't know, like LinkedIn post, Instagram post, like Instagram meta campaign. I'm scared that when it comes to this type of tasks, AI might be in lack of consistency. But of course, like there are a lot of very vertical tools that can help with this. Um, and yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that over time, it's going to become more and more integrated within marketing applications. Of course, it depends on the type of activity you have to go through, but especially for performance marketing, outbound activities, that's going to be, well, a game changer.
Okay, thank you, Achille. So I have a second question too, and there is a statistics that says that CEOs think that CMOs are still putting the CEO and the brand before themselves. Is this something usual for marketers? And what is your perspective with that? What is your practice?
Shall I start? Or we continue with the same order?
Yeah, you can start, sure. I don't think there's a problem.
Okay. Well, in well, actually, I would agree under certain point of views, but it depends on the nature of the company, like the nature of the business itself. I mean, sometimes the the brand is still like more relevant than like um, the like specific professional profile of the CEO, but um, well, in our case, for example, there's like I mean, we try it because our strategy is like mainly focused over professionals, because of course we are a B2B business, and well, we are always trying to develop like in the same way personal brand and like company brand. Like in our opinion, they have to develop as parallels, but at the same time uh, find some what's the term like in English? I'm missing it. Like some
Crossroads.
point, crossroads, like connection points. That's
Yeah.
that's really important, especially when it comes to a B2B business. Of course, when you turn to D2C, well, at that point, I think it's more of an executive choice, like a choice from the executive. I mean, but probably Pietro is going to be like more fitting than me answering this question.
Okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with you, Achille, and I think from at least my humble experience that especially the brand marketing is something that you want to focus on. Um, let's say when you are thinking long term and when you have, done so many short-term performance marketing stuff that you know that in order to survive you need to you know take into consideration the brand marketing side of your company, because for example in our case, since we are still relatively new company, I know we have to test and try so many different things in the short term, especially when it comes to performance marketing, that anything related to the brand side, um, it's not our top priority. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, that's been a matter of discussion with my CEO lately. Uh, that's incredible. But let's continue with the Rick. I'm sorry, I don't want to like make it a thing.
Yeah, I think that's always a challenge that that the bottom line or the sales goals and brand doesn't always bring in the immediacy that the CEOs want. So that's always a challenge. So it's always there's always it's always a nice to have. It's a hard to maintain. That's always been my experience. There's not a lot of people that have the fortitude to just keep going. So especially when you have like kind of a tangible product that you can sell and get a physical return on. I think the CPG companies where they're a CPG company, maybe a services company that has a high margin, they're able to do a lot of brand marketing because they have to, and that's really where their budget comes from. But yeah, retailers, it's hard to keep going on brand.
Yeah,
Really hard.
absolutely.
So, do you have any other comments to add? So, thank you each of our speakers for your thoughtful answers and for sharing your expertise with us today. And thank you to everyone for your participation. We truly appreciate your time. We are really delighted to have each of you, our valued guests, join us for this event. And the first of many we have planned. We intend to host similar events regularly, so please stay tuned for updates on our next session. Once again, thank you everyone for being here, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
It
you
was
for
a
having
pleasure.
us.
Thank
A
you.
huge
Thank you,
much.
everyone.